And welcome back. In a world where entrepreneurship often focuses on a personal success, a revolutionary concept is emerging. One going beyond business to nation building. Imagine creating an entirely new country from scratch, rooted in vision, resilience, and innovation. Joining me now, the founder of the Kingdom of Kush, His Royal Highness Mansa Suliman Al Kushi. And His Royal Highness Mansa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I just want to take the time to really unpack this because for somebody who's on the outside looking in, this seems like a lot, but for you, this is an everyday journey.
That's correct.
Share with us the journey to really creating this.
I'm sorry?
Can you share a little bit about the journey and how you created this?
Oh, yes. The journey started in 1993 when the inspiration of Black Wall Street, we were reading about Black Wall Street and realized that people back then didn't have that much, but they have themselves. And because of that, they were able to create a very successful Black Wall Street. So that inspiration came in, and we decided to create a new nation, just to replicate the same Black Wall Street, but in a different form, in the form of a sovereign nation. So during that research, we end up going towards our ancestral land, which is the Kingdom of Kush, to restore the legendary Kingdom of Kush. And from that, we planted the flag on June 13, 1993, to proclaim a sovereignty of that nation and the land that is called, before that, is called Bir Tawil. And Bir Tawil, it was considered as a no man's land, what the international community call a terra nullius. So when we proclaimed it, we started to call for the awareness and the importance of restoring our history, the importance to restore our heritage. So the journey started from that particular moment. And in that moment, we decided building a nation should not start with the bricks and mortar. It should start with building people first. So we've started going around African nations and calling upon the youth that were on the streets with no parents. And we started to get a space for them, renting mothers, not only to nourish them with food, but also to nourish them with motherly love. And we placed them in schools, and these children today became doctors, lawyers, politicians, governors, ministers, and so forth, business people. And from there, we started to now put temporary homes on the ground and establish in the country.
When you talk about declaring sovereignty, I mean that's a large feat, and for yourself being able to do that, talk about how difficult that was really to get to that place.
Yes, it's difficult to get to that place, but when you have determination to do something, it becomes very easy. And the thing is, we give a credit to all our teams. It was a group of African Americans that actually started this, and we went together. We've been working together since then. Some of them are older, and some of them actually passed away, but we continued the journey. And we think the determination is there in the hearts of people. And from that, we just didn't see it as difficult. So we think much more easier that a self-determination is real and we must do it.
As you look at your schedule, I mean, there's a lot that's going on in terms of moving from one place to another. When I say moving from one place to another, your schedule where you once were this entrepreneur, that now you're a countrypreneur, and a lot of people have regarded you to be this countrypreneur. For somebody who may not know how a countrypreneur operates, take it away.
Yes, a entrepreneur is just a term that we invented. We look at people who creating enterprises and businesses. They're calling them entrepreneurs, but we never see in actual times people who build in countries. So we look it up. What is the name for people who build in countries? And we couldn't find a name, so we made it up to call it entrepreneurs because we engage in building a country. So the fact that we are taking up on building a country, it is called entrepreneur. And that is how we came up with that name in order to build a country.
Yeah. For yourself, obviously, it's been a huge feat just to get to this place, and building a nation, and you're building a nation, and literally uh, from the ground up. Somebody says like it's tremendously innovative, but at the same time, it's tremendously innovative. You also have to be very detailed in what you're trying to accomplish. From the innovation perspective, talk to me about how you're working this out and what you've got coming up in the future.
Yeah, so first of all, I will take a little one step back to building a country was not an experience that we had to start it. We don't know how to build a country. We never know anybody who built a country. There's no school for how to build a country, but they have information on what it takes to be a country. First and foremost, to become a country, you need four things. Number one, you need a territory with a defined borders. Number two, you need a government with a constitution. Number three, you need a population, a permanent populations. And number four, you need another sovereign nation to recognize you as a sovereign nation. So this four thing is necessary in order for you to become a nation. So we started with that. So we got a territory called Beritoia with a defined border. We have a permanent residence there. And then we have also a government with a constitution. Then we have 12 countries so far recognize us as a country. So our passport today can travel to those countries that recognize us. So that's the first steps for us. And number two is that we started to put in um, temporary homes for workers that start coming in. And the most innovative parts of what we do is a little bit about decentralizing the country itself, because this particular territory that make us a country is between Egypt and Sudan. And the space there is about 2,060 square kilometers, which is about, let's say, 795 square miles, which represent 22 times Manhattan. So, two times Dubai or three times Singapore. So, what we're trying to do is not to just have that particular territory as a country. We want to have embassy cities which give us autonomy on other land we have across Africa. Among those land, we have four islands. One island in Madagascar, one island in the Maldives, one island in Cape Verde, and one island in um, Guinea, Bissau. So having other lands such as DRC or um, the village of Kintakunte in Gambia. So all these little things we did we're trying to innovate the way the country are established in the past and the way we see it here now. For example, if a person doesn't like a desert, we want that citizen to have ability to stay in the island, or those who want to stay in the savannah, or those who want to stay in a tropical area. So we have a land across Africa that are attached to the kingdom central or mainland, such as the U.S. does have Puerto Rico, Hawaii, Guam, or Virgin Island. China used to have, as a China has a Hong Kong. So we also have these islands and this land attached to us that is very innovative in the economic way, so that our citizens can live not just in one location, but we live across 34 African nations. That's how we think the economic power will help our citizen to have access to 34 countries that we are operating in, or we have an island or land.
So, as I got my information, I understand that 7 million people have applied for citizenship.
Correct.
For yourself, what do you think is that magic draw for 7 million people to say, listen, I want citizenship?
Yeah, I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people have different reasons why they want their citizenship, and I think one of the main reasons for people is they are frustrated. There is a frustration, and at the same time, there is a hope. Frustration for the system that claim to look out for them, but yet fail them in the multiple levels, and hope for a new alternative place that they can be who they are. They don't have to apologize for them being any particular race or age or nationality or accent or anything else, that they can just be free and be themselves. So they looking for changes where the system that they are living in is not able to change or don't want to change. And they think, okay, what about if we can build something together? If I can be part of something new, building a new nation, and be able to have some checkpoint for what works for us where we were coming from and what didn't work, and be able to build together a better life for not only ourselves but for the few generations to come. So that is what inspired these 7 million people who say enough is enough where we are, or we're looking for other options in case we have to get out.
Yeah. Now, you also have Kush listed as a smart city and a city where innovation will be a part of that. So, how is innovation going to run and be a part of the Kingdom of Kush?
Innovation will be an e-government. Everything today is much more digital economy, and we think our innovation will be making things as easy as possible by using technology, that the best technology available now. And if you want to apply for a license of doing business or any permits or anything, you should be able to go online and be able to apply. If you want a citizenship, you should be able to go online and apply. And it doesn't have to be a long line in a physical location, or where the protocol and administrations kind of can be slow. We want to make sure that even a voting system, marriage certificates or death certificates, whatever is needed, that we will be able to run the government digitally, whatever we may be. We could be here and running the government. We could be anywhere else in the world to be able to connect. Now we're using Zoom for everything. Now we're verifying information through technologies, facial recognition, and so forth. So we want to use the best technology available to innovate the education system, the voting system, how the government runs, the parliament, and there's more important things, the citizen engagement and how they want their country to be and be run by whom.
Yeah. So, how does the citizenship process work? If I'm outside of Africa, but I have a desire for citizenship, maybe myself, right? I say, listen, you know what? I want to become a part of the Kingdom of Kush. How do I do that?
Well, you just go straight online at our website, kingdomofkush.org. For now, we're working on kingdomofkush.kush. and kingdomofkush.gov. But as of now, we have kingdomofkush.org, where you apply for your citizenship, and then we run all the background check. And of course, because it's an African country, all African diaspora, all people of African descent are almost automatically qualified, because what we build in the Kingdom of Kush, it is the United States of Africa. So we don't believe that much on those artificial boundaries that were put on us, and we're dealing with them now. But our goal is to be able to create the United States of Africa that allow all African descent to be part of this. And of course, when it comes specifically for most of us, we became a mixed nation simply because some of us married to different race and our children are mixed. So the door is open for mainly everybody, but African American has a specific privilege of getting this citizenship.
Yeah. And for yourself, obviously, what does it mean to really undertake this process? Because there's certain people who have different aspirations. This is a lofty one, admittedly, and this is a huge one. But for someone like yourself, it's within reach. But to get it from where it is and to where it is right now, what's the process been like for you?
The process has been a challenging for the first 7 years. I received nothing but rejection, because as 32 years ago, I was a little bit younger, so people couldn't understand that this kid want to build a country. It's just a dream, and people don't want to even give me time because they just think either it's just dreamer. And I was not old enough to call me a scammer, so because I was younger then, but people didn't believe in the idea. It was a challenging, and it took 7 years for just one person to say, "How long have you been doing this?" And I said, "It's been 7 years." And they say, "I know the first time you came here." And how many people believe in you so far? I say, "No one." And he told me, "I believe in you." All right. And of course, I've been rejected for 7 years. I couldn't believe him when he said, "I believe you." So then he said, "You have multiple problems. One is your age, you're too young, and people think you're just dreaming, because what kind of education you have at this age, what kind of experience you have, even in a real life. So it doesn't make any sense. But because Black Wall Street was built by people with nothing, I believe if we come together to establish a new nation and we explain it with the older faces, people will start to believe in you." And he joined me, and whatever, anytime I set up a meeting, he will be there with me. And people start to believe in this. But it was a huge challenge to be able to have people believe, because one, people think building a country it will take 100 of years. So I may not be alive. Why I need to waste my time? And but slowly, people start to see when Dubai started from nothing, from a plain desert and built, they start to see, oh, it's possible. And from there, you start to see a lot of people making the comparison that if the whole entire continent of Africa, with its oh, sorry, with its own natural resources, and Dubai with just a petroleum, Africa has petroleum. Africa has a lot of natural resources. It's also possible for Africans to build a business hub that can be a bridge between Africa and the rest of the world, because Dubai did it for Arab world. Singapore did it for Asian world. Why Africa never had anything like that to be able to create a business hub for internationals? And people start to think maybe it's time to come together and build something together because we have intellectual capacity around the world, from the United States to Brazil to everywhere. We have natural resources that the whole world wants. How come Africans, either from the motherland or African from the diaspora, cannot come together and build? So we start to see that revolution start to come into the spirit of people, and they start to support this idea. And the journey always been ups and downs. Sometimes you go to your house at night and think, am I doing the right thing? But the spirit of our ancestor kept telling, yes, keep it going. And the journey has been fun. I would say fun. I love what I do, and I want to be part of those who, of those ancestors that fought to liberate us, at least to have a voice in politics. But economically, we also have a duty and responsibility to contribute to that. And this Kingdom of Kush, to me, the journey of it is part of the contribution I will bring to, I'm thinking I'm bringing to the self-determination, liberation of our people.
His Royal Highness Mansa, thank you so much for joining us and sharing a little bit about the Kingdom of Kush. We certainly will follow the developments and wish you all the best. And thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. All righty.